my PT peeps, I'm a Walking Dead family. One Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead and Carl Grimes, his journey from Season 1 to Season 8, where we're at right now, while the upcoming episode in Season 8, Episode 9. Spoiler warning, obviously, if you don't want to know this information, you're not up to date of the show, the comic, everything involved. Spoiler warning, because some big news is coming in Episode 809, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but for those who want to know and know what we're talking about, here we go. Now, here at the PT channel, we're all about family, the Walking Dead family, the Walking Dead community, and I would love for you to be part of our family by subscribing to the channel, the PT channel, and being a member of our Walking Dead community. So just hit that subscribe button and get notifications when we make videos. I hope you do. Now, The Walking Dead Season 8 will return this Sunday, February 25th, for Season 8, Episode 9, and Carl Grimes' last episode is Season 8, Episode 9. Now, we've seen Carl from being a little child, not this little, but Chandler Riggs. Love him, hate him, like him, think he's all right. He's been part of the Walking Dead family either way since he was a little kid, to long hair, to cutting it off, and now he's forever be a part of the family, the Walking Dead family and the community, whether you like it, don't like it. I don't like the decision of Carl being killed off, but we got to get over it and move on with it either way. But we're here to talk about Chandler Riggs, Carl Grimes, his journey from Season 1 to Season 8. And I didn't really like Carl at the very beginning. I like the Rick, Carl, Shane, Carl dynamic of it, but I have to say Carl was pretty annoying early on, but that was probably how the character was designed. He was a young kid, he wanted to be part of things, he wasn't ready, he had to deal with a lot of stuff, but Carl survived a lot of things. He didn't cut his hair for a long time. We have a theory of why he didn't cut his hair. Did it have to do with Lori cutting his hair? I love this picture here. Look at Lori's face. And look at Carl's face. Carl's like, Rick, Dad. Lori's like, oh crap, Rick's alive. This is terrible. What are we going to do? But Carl has been a part of the series since Season 1. He's an OG. He's part of the Atlanta 5. That's going to be the Atlanta 3. Rick coming back is a great story that he's looking for his family. He found it, and they can move on. And then the Lori, Shane, Carl situation was crazy. Carl's been through a lot with the deer. Far better CGID right here. And Carl's had to deal with so much over the series. He's been shot numerous times. He's almost died numerous times. And now he's going to die. And that's kind of the complaint of like how he's going out in my eyes. When you look back and you watch the marathons and you watch the old episodes, it's kind of sad knowing that Carl's going to be gone from the series. Carl, Rick, a lot of people thought that Rick was going to eventually die and Carl would take over. But that's not going to happen. Writers write this, change, comic, show, all that stuff. Carl's done some stupid things, but that's a product of growing up. He's growing up in the zombie apocalypse. A terrible place to grow up, I have to admit. But Carl has been through a lot. No more than with his mom. That's going to come back around in Season 8. The dialogue Lori and Carl had right before Lori gave birth to Judith. And it's a shame because Lori died and Carl didn't have a mom for a while. But I didn't really like Lori, so her death didn't matter to me at all. But how it impacted Carl going forward in the series really is impactful for Carl. And we're going to see that back again in Season 8. But the Carl-Lori dynamic is pretty sad. Carl's been through a lot. He's had to make decisions. He's grown up in the zombie apocalypse, and he's been doing a lot of things. But like I said, Carl didn't have a mom for a while. And I don't know if he ever felt that Michonne became the mom, because remember, Carl and Michonne didn't really get along. Carl didn't see Michonne as someone that he could trust or the group should trust, and ultimately it took a while to have the Michonne-Carl dynamic. I liked the Michonne-Carl dynamic, especially when they were bonding and Michonne and Carl were clearing out the houses in Season 4, and you could see them really having a connection and a relationship, and it was nice to see that. Eventually, it has become a mother-son relationship, and it's going to be sad. Michonne and Rick are going to take it hard, and if you don't feel bad for Carl's death, you didn't really feel a bond with the character at all, and over time, I have developed one. Early on, I didn't, but Carl, Rick, they've been through a lot. Carl is a teenager, and I think in the show he's supposed to be like 10 years old, but he's obviously a teenager, Chandler Riggs, when he was filming basically a lot of the seasons. But Carl's done some stupid things. He wanted to go out and do this, and there's a lot of times where he could have died. He's been through so much, and I'll talk about his death in a second, but Carl has been through a lot since Season 1 to Season 2 to 8, all the way through it. The Pudding House, there's some iconic things with Carl. We would like to have seen more of Carl, but he's had to be in school and he wouldn't be there in high school, and he was going to a regular high school, so he could miss some filming, and the same thing with Enid. But Carl had a stunt double that was a woman. It was kind of funny. And just watching the past seasons, season 4, season 5 with Carl and Michonne and Rick, and it's just kind of sad to see the potential for the character. I think that's the bigger thing of it. And watching scenes like this, the whole situation, you know, what happened to Carl and then Terminus, and it's just like, wow, man, he's been through so much, and you forget about it almost, because in season 7 and season 8, the dynamic of the show has changed, to me, for the worse. But Carl, Rick, there's always going to be a bond there, and hopefully we'll see flashback and callbacks of things. And scenes like this, when Carl sees Rick and they save each other and they move. And, you know, Carl is a member of the Atlanta Five. You can say 6 with Morgan, but Morgan wasn't there, and whatever you want to say. But Carl has had some funny moments with Ron and the push and the fight and whatever. But you could see Carl was there to protect people and save people and help people. Even he stood up for Ron when they were fighting in the garage, and he didn't want to, you know, snitch on Ron, and you can kind of be like, all right, Carl's got some potential here. He's a good guy. He's trying to do things, even though he should have stopped Ron with the gun and everything. He lost an eye because of it. But Carl is one character you could trust. And I know a lot of people liked Carl. A lot of people didn't like Carl, but a lot of people do, and that sucks about it. Now, Carl could have been more and more of the show. He's graduated from high school now. He was going to have more time devoted to the show, and now, gone. This is season 2 to season 7. But Carl is a character that had, like I said, the potential. Early on, he was kind of annoying, and then he wasn't around for a lot of episodes because Chandler Riggs was in high school. But now he was filming more and more of it. Probably being an 18-year-old, he wanted more money in any situation, but his journey has come from a long way, and a lot of big things have happened with Carl and Rick. And I don't know if you read the comics, but Carl is still alive, and hopefully you do, and hopefully the potential of Carl taking over in the comics is still there. But the meat ponchos in season 6, and just watching these clips right here, it's just crazy to see what Carl's been through. Right here was a great moment. Season 6 with Carl and Rick, I don't know if it gets any better than that for me, especially with Carl and Rick and the dynamic of things. But if you see glimpses of Carl, if you watch the marathons that you'll be seeing before season 8 comes back next Sunday, Carl is a protector. He tried to protect Enid, Rick, Judith. He was there trying to help out and be someone you could count on, and he is till his dying days. He's going to do that. Enid, it's a shame because we'll see Enid find out about Carl's death. Enid should get a note from Carl. I would assume Carl wrote notes to a lot of people. Carl, Judith, that relationship is going to be gone. It's going to be sad in season 8, episode 9. Pictures are going to be taken with Judith and Carl, so she remembers her big brother. I like that dynamic. A lot of us thought that we were going to have Judith and Carl be the last people standing, with maybe a group of Daryl or Michonne or somebody there as well. And so we're going to have to live on with Judith taking the place of Carl. Maybe, maybe not. Will Carl's storylines from the comic be put to Judith or Enid or Daryl or whoever? Well, time will tell. But Carl has been through so much at the farm, losing an eye, getting shot several times, you know, and it's a shame because even the lineup having to go through that and deal with that on their losing friends and possibly his own death. Then also a second lineup. Luckily for Shiva, he was saved. And I've said it numerous times in the video, Carl has been through so much and he's been alive and made it through. To go out this way is like, frustrating to me and a lot of fans. I don't mind that Carl could eventually have died or is going to die. It's just how it's happening is kind of annoying to me. I would love to have seen the Negan-Carl dynamic also involved with Rick-Carl dynamic, almost like the Shane involvement with Carl a little bit. Who's he going to think of, especially if Negan gets captured? But we saw that a little bit here, that Carl could look up to Negan a little bit, and Negan obviously has a connection with Carl that's going to be dead now. So we'll see what happens. It might be forced with Negan and Daryl or somebody, what that's going to change. But the Carl Negan dynamic was very interesting to me to see how Carl could look up to Negan. And I would have liked to have seen, it could still happen in the comic, but the leadership hybrid ideas of Negan and Rick and what Carl's decision would eventually be like. Even Maggie, he could take leadership roles and ideas from. He was trying to kill Negan. He didn't do it. He met Negan. Negan kind of thought of a way to talk with him and kind of win him over a little bit. And that happened somewhat. But the Negan, Carl, Judith connection here is kind of funny to me, especially Judith's face right here. But Carl's like, what the heck? I love this picture right here. It's sad because Judith is going to not have a big brother. Maybe down the road, maybe Rick and Michonne have a baby, but not sure how it works out for the show, if it makes sense or not. But Carl has been through so much, just like all these characters have, but it's a shame because Season 8, Episode 9 is Carl's last episode. The journey of Carl will live on, I guess, but it's a shame because we all thought that Carl was going to be the last man standing. And it's a shame because the writers made the decision to do that. I would have loved to have seen an old man Carl on the show, but that's not going to happen. And it's a shame for so many reasons. The potential of the character. I know early on, Carl was annoying and frustrating. Why don't you just stay in the house? Just be protected. And then he grew up in the zombie apocalypse and was someone that you could kind of count on a little bit. If Carl was on your side, you could kind of know he's going to protect you and trust you and help on there too. It's a shame for Rick more than anybody, and Michonne as well. But how's Rick going to take it? Carl's not going to make it out of Season 8, Episode 9 when it returns next week. I know a lot of people were having hope for it, if he's going to be immune or a bite or this or that. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be a send-off for Carl Grimes. So from Season 1 to half of Season 8, Carl had a good run. We'll see the future that he would want to have in Season 8, Episode 9, a vision that he would want to have, but it's going to be sad, and I'm kind of curious, and I know a lot of people have been asking me about it. What's going to happen with the hat? Is Henry going to get it? Enid? Rick? Just don't know yet. Here's a great picture of the Riggs family. Chandler and his family will hopefully still be going to conventions and being part of the Walking Dead family. I'm sure he has a bitter taste in his mouth the way it played out. Chandler just recently graduated from high school. Thought he was going to stay on the show. Maybe he goes to college. Maybe he stays with music or he's in movies. I don't know what the future is for Chandler Riggs, but hopefully it's big one. Is he going to go to Auburn, Georgia, somewhere in California, stick to music, acting? Hopefully we'll get to see him again in other movies and shows. Pretty cool stuff to see Chandler Riggs grow from a little kid to an adult now, 18 years old, taking on the world. Hopefully he'll stick around in the acting business. But thank you for the memories, Carl Grimes, Chandler Riggs, and the Riggs family. You will be gone, but not forgotten, that's for sure. Chandler Riggs, Carl Grimes will always be a member of the Walking Dead family, and we'll just have to see it in prior episodes of The Walking Dead and at conventions. So there you go, guys. That's my take on Carl's journey. What do you make of it? Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Definitely check out our other videos if you enjoyed this one. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, at the PT channel. And if you can be a member of our Walking Dead family, subscribe to the channel, getting notifications. We post videos all the time about The Walking Dead and various content. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Chandler Riggs is going to be off the show, but he won't be forgotten, that's for sure. And remember, guys, you got to make some left turns before you make a right one.